kissed the sidewalk outside as Avery poured perfectly foamed milk into a waiting cup. As she served the eclectic mix of customers, a rushing businessperson, a group of college students brainstorming over lattes, her gaze flickered toward the entrance. There, huddled against the glass, was a figure wrapped in layers that swayed in the wind like autumn leaves. Avery recognized him immediately. Martin, the homeless man who frequented the cafe, his unkempt beard and weather-worn face a familiar sight. "Hey Martin. Want your usual?" Avery called out, her voice warm and inviting. Martin nodded, his tired eyes lighting up at the prospect of a hot drink. She grabbed a ceramic mug, the one she always reserved for regulars, before her conscious mind could hurry her warmth away. As she filled it with a robust blend, she felt the familiar flutter of empathy that ignited her heart. While others might have turned a blind eye, Avery believed in offering little sparks of kindness wherever she could, especially to those who seemed burdened by life's weight. Despite her own financial struggles, she had long made peace with the decision to give. With a quick glance around to ensure the owner wasn't near, she slid the steaming cup across the counter. "On the house," she said, her voice light but serious. "You've got to stay warm." Martin's face broke into a toothy grin, one that Avery felt was as rare as gold. "Thanks, Avery," he rasped, wrapping his hands around the warm cup. "You're an angel." She waved off the praise, feeling the blush creep into her cheeks. Inside, her heart sang, knowing she had made a difference in that fleeting moment. But as soon as the warmth of that action washed over her, a pinch of guilt pricked at the back of her mind. Could giving away coffee put her rent at risk? Could she afford to be so generous in a world where every penny felt counted? Yet, dismissing the thought as the door rang with the entrance of more customers, she resolved to remember that kindness was its own currency. Days turned into weeks, and months slipped by like the autumn leaves swirling down on the sidewalk. Avery continued to see Martin, sharing brief conversations and warm cups of coffee that, many times, came at her own expense. But it was these connections, small yet significant, that made the burdens of financial strain feel lighter. Each time she poured coffee for Martin, it reminded her of the kindness she so desperately needed in her own life. One Friday morning, as the first hints of winter brushed against Denver's streets, Avery found herself serving the usual crowd. The cafe was lively, filled with the chatter of friends laughing over pastries and strangers meeting for the first time. Yet her heart was heavy. Bills loomed on her kitchen counter, shaming her with urgency. Just as she was trying to drown out her anxiety in the rhythm of steaming milk, she noticed Martin sitting quietly in the back corner, sipping his coffee slowly. It was then that the haunting thought emerged: how many cups of coffee could she afford to give away in this life defined by scarcity? But her reflection shattered when she caught a glimpse of Martin's face. Instead of the usual weariness, an air of excitement danced in his tired eyes. Avery watched curiously as he pulled a tattered notebook from his bundle. Drawing closer, he began to sketch, a pencil dancing across the page. Intrigued, she approached his table, her heart fluttering with the connection they had built over strange and unlikely moments. "Hey, what are you drawing?" she asked, leaning over the table to get a glimpse of his work. A few moments passed in silence as Martin looked up, a shy smile cracking through his gruff demeanor. "Oh, just something I picked up during the day. Why no? Like the way you pour a latte, or the way the light hits the trees when it's all chaotic," he shrugged, flipping pages. It was like he had captured the essence of their little cafe in every stroke, a world that felt alive and filled with beauty. Her heart warmed at the sight of his passion bubbling beneath layers of hardship. The kindness that flowed between them wasn't just the sharing of coffee, it was also the exchange of hope. In that moment, Avery realized that they were both artists of their domain, and they both desperately needed to be seen and heard. "Maybe one day I could buy one of your sketches," she said softly, her voice carrying the weight of sincerity she felt for him. Martin chuckled, a sound that was rough yet charming. "I'll hold you to that, Avery." As Christmas approached, bringing with it the usual hustle and bustle, Avery poured coffee with a renewed lightness. It wasn't all about the money she saved or the burdens she carried, it was about the connections she had forged and the warmth of humble acts. She began to think that maybe her kindness was enough to create ripples, maybe it could bring transformation, not just to herself but to the lives she touched. Little did she know how life would interweave their paths once more, many years down the line, in a way that none of them could possibly foresee. As the days slipped deeper into December, the cafe transformed under the warm glow of twinkling fairy lights and the rich scents of spiced coffee and seasonal treats. Java Junction felt like a sanctuary amidst the hustle, where laughter mingled with the steam rising off freshly brewed cups. Avery Chen thrived in the holiday spirit, her heart lightened by the generous smiles from strangers and the warm hellos exchanged with regulars. But among the cheer, she found her thoughts often spiraling back to Martin. The sketches he had shared with her over coffee were more than just drawings, they revealed a world through his eyes, filled with subtle beauty and hope. With every conversation shared over warm mugs, their friendship blossomed. Avery often played the role of the supportive listener, nudging Martin to consider avenues where he could showcase his art. For now, Martin remained hesitant, mixing modesty with a touch of fear of rejection, fear of stepping out of the safety of the cafe's warmth. Avery respected his pace, knowing only time and kindness could nurture that fragile confidence. After the New Year celebrations, as snow thudded softly against the windows, a surprise awaited Avery at work one Thursday morning. Midway through her shift, as she chatted with a group of regulars about their holiday plans, the cafe door swung open, and in stepped Andrew, a local art gallery owner, shaking off the cold that lingered outside. "Avery," he called out, causing her to turn mid-sentence. "I was hoping to find you here." "Avery, look. It's the gallery guy," one of her friends teased, nudging her shoulder good-naturedly. Avery walked up to Andrew, curiosity peaking within her. "Hey Andrew, what brings you in?" With a glint in his eye, he leaned closer to confide. "I've heard only good things about the artists who frequent this cafe. I've been scouting for new talent to feature in my gallery, and I think I might have just found the right person." Hope ignited in Avery's heart. "Really? Who are you talking about?" She flushed at the thought of Martin. Yet, she didn't want to assume. "Martin," Andrew replied, smirking. "His sketches, man, they're something else. He's got a raw style that others are trying to replicate, but his is organic, honest." "What do you mean?" Avery's heart raced at the thought of Martin's work being displayed. "His outdoor scenes are remarkable. The way he captures life in the moment, the beauty of simplicity, it's incredible." Andrew paused, clearly gauging Avery's reaction. "I'd love to have a chat with him, see if he's interested in showcasing his work." Avery's heart swelled with pride. "That's amazing. I'll invite him to come in and chat with you. He hasn't sold anything, but he has such a talent." She grinned widely, picturing the wry smile that would cross Martin's face. Andrew nodded. A firm look of encouragement plastered on his face. "Let's talk prices. We can discuss a percentage of sales after his pieces are featured. Think about it, this could be the launch that establishes his career." Beyond the enthusiasm, another thought prickled her mind. Avery couldn't help marveling at the financial potential this opportunity could yield for Martin, and even for her, an opportunity that felt like hellos and goodbyes crafted into art. As her shift ended, Avery rushed out the back door, her mind racing. After the cafe closed, she cycled back through the lightly falling snow, eager to see Martin. In her excitement, she accidentally missed the telltale bounce of the street she was weaving through. When she met Martin, he was cozy in his usual corner of Java Junction, hunched over a new sketch that portrayed the cafe itself with warmth and familiarity. "Hey Martin," she called, sliding into the seat across from him. He looked up, a bit startled but pleasantly surprised. "You're not going to believe this, but I just spoke to Andrew from the art gallery. He's interested in featuring your work." Martin paused, letting her words settle. "Are you joking?" he replied incredulously, refusing to show his excitement too soon. "Why would I?" Avery grinned, her eyes sparkling. "I told him about your sketches. I think you should meet him tomorrow. He said really nice things about the passion behind your work. Martin, this is your chance to showcase your art." He stared at her for a moment, a mixture of disbelief and hope flickering over his face. What if no one likes it? Then at least you tried. But I promise you this, your work speaks for itself. Avery squeezed his hand softly. This chance could change everything. Martin gave her a tentative smile, a mixture of gratitude and vulnerability pooling in his eyes. The weight of their fear had shifted ever so slightly. All right, let's do it. The next day Martin arrived with a collection of pieces wrapped in brown paper, his nerves palpable as he clutched them tightly. With Andrew's face beaming in anticipation, their meeting unfolded in a whirlwind of laughter, discussion, and pure excitement over Martin's unique perspective, as if the fresh layers of snow outside were thawing, unveiling colors in the world just waiting to be seen. As the meeting drew to a close, Andrew leaned back, visibly impressed. I'll take all of these pieces for a showcase. We can set a date in 2 weeks, and you can keep 60% of any sales. Martin's jaw dropped in astonishment. You really mean it? Absolutely. Let's make some magic happen. After discussing themes and potential exhibition ideas, Andrew explained the gallery's extensive reach with advertisements across social media and local publications. The tactic seemed both savvy and promising. In that single meeting, Avery was already picturing success. She sensed a turning point, that golden moment that often only occurs in tales spun from dreams. It turned out that the magic of kindness could create majestic avenues for financial gain, giving hope to those who dared to believe. As weeks passed, Martin's artwork graced the cafe walls, a temporary gallery that complemented the warmth of their daily conversations. Regulars lined up to purchase his pieces just days after they were displayed, so captivated by his nuances and portrayal of their town. Every cup of coffee poured came with stories of Martin, each sale embedding them deeper into the community's heart. Before long, Andrew contacted Martin, garnering interest from a gallery in Boulder. I want you to play a part in an exhibition gathering local artists. It's a lucrative opportunity. In disbelief, Martin turned to Avery one afternoon after another day of coffee pouring and laughter shared. This is all happening so fast. Do you think it can last? Avery reached out, cupping his rough hand into her own. The quality of your work will leave a mark, just like your kindness has left one on me. You may have the chance to transform not only your life but others through your art. You deserve every bit of it. Then, one chilly afternoon, as the cafe bustled with familiar rhythms, Andrew arrived with a wide grin. I just received the final sales report from the Boulder exhibition. And guess what? Martin looked up, breathless with anticipation. Your pieces sold out. You earned a total of $4,500. How does that feel? Martin froze momentarily, lost in a whirlwind of emotions before breaking out into a triumphant smile, a deluge of incredulous joy flooding his expression. Tears glistened at the corners of his eyes as he simply replied, "This is unreal." And at that moment, as their little corner of the cafe radiated excitement, it struck Avery this wasn't just about selling artwork, it became a celebration of kindness, connection, and growth. All stemming from cups of coffee shared between friends, bolstered by the courage they inspired in one another. It felt like laughter resonating with the promise of a brighter future, where kindness wasn't just a fleeting notion but rather a powerful force, a thread that wove lives together, forging pathways toward dreams and aspirations. Avery realized that Martin's success inspired everyone around him, including herself. With every sip of coffee served and every sweet moment shared, they became a community rooted not just in daily routines but bound by the heartbeats of those ready to uplift one another, embracing the journey toward transformation. As the sun set on another bustling day, the warmth wrapping around them might have been just from the cafe's heat, but really, it was a sign that their good deeds radiated strength against life's adversities, further illuminating the path ahead. The warmth of Java Junction felt like a comforting embrace as the chill of winter settled outside. Avery had become accustomed to the ebb and flow of the cafe, but the burgeoning excitement surrounding Martin's recent success infused a new energy into the air. Each time she poured a cup of coffee, she felt the thrill of potential that radiated through the walls, a recognition that they were all capable of more than what their pasts had dictated. In the weeks following Martin's exhibition, the cafe buzzed with chatter about his artwork. Customers would come in, not just for their favorite lattes but to catch a glimpse of the sketches that adorned the walls. Avery felt a sense of pride swell within her as she watched Martin blossom. His warm smile and infectious humor drew in patrons, and it was evident that the cafe had become not only a platform for his work, but also a home filled with camaraderie and support. The community's engagement with Martin's art transformed beyond mere transactions. It became a lifeline to bring people together. Children would tug their parents in, eyes wide with wonder at the vibrant sketches capturing moments of joy, family picnics and sunlit parks, weathered trees swaying in the wind. Avery observed how Martin's passion for capturing the world breathed life into those around him, inspiring budding artists and creative souls to find their voice. The turning of winter into spring promised renewal, and with it came the warmth of change. Avery continued to draw closer to Martin, sharing not only the burdens of the cafe but also moments of laughter and dreams. Together they began to envision a future that extended beyond the confines of the cafe, even beyond the boundaries of their small town. Talks of collaborative exhibitions outside Denver, community art classes, and the idea of establishing a safer community space for aspiring artists all took root in their hearts. It was tempestuous, yet a thrilling potential filled each conversation like a well-brewed espresso shot, dark and rich. On a sunlit Tuesday, Martin approached Avery as she cleaned the counter, a handful of small sketches tucked beneath his arm. "I've been thinking," he began, his voice bright with excitement. "What if we hosted an art night at the cafe? We could invite the community, help inspire others, and maybe I could even teach a few people how to sketch." Avery's eyes grew wide with delight as his idea took root in her mind. "That's brilliant. We could feature local talent, showcase their pieces, and offer a platform for anyone who wants to share what they love. It could be a monthly event, a pocket of creativity in our busy lives." Over the following weeks, they dedicated their evenings to planning their first art night. The cafe's tables transformed into vivid displays of local talent adorned with paintings, sculptures, and Martin's sketches. Flyers were distributed, excitement rippling through the community. Each passing day felt like a countdown to the colorful evening they both envisioned. When the day finally arrived, the air buzzed with exhilaration. Avery set up the cafe with colorful tablecloths and soft lighting, creating an inviting ambience that felt cozy and familial. The walls thrummed with energy as local musicians tuned their instruments in one corner, while excited chatter filled the cafe like a happy song. Martin paced back and forth, his nervousness palpable as the soft sounds of laughter enveloped them both. "You've got this," Avery reassured him, giving him a gentle nudge. "Just share your passion. That's what brought them here." As the time for the event neared, Martin stepped forward to address the eager crowd that had gathered, the weight of his past mixed with the bright potential of the future evident in his eyes. He spoke with confidence, drawing them in as he shared not only his story but also the importance of community and support. He opened up his own journey, reminding everyone that his growth was rooted in the kindness of strangers, how a simple cup of coffee turned into a beacon of compassion that fueled his dreams. As the evening unfolded, laughter and music intertwined like a beautiful melody. Attendees mingled and engaged, sharing stories and creative ideas, while sipping on decadent hot cocoa and artisan pastries. Martin set up a small art station, guiding children and adults alike through simple sketching techniques, and revealing the beauty of seeing the world through an artist's eye. There was a fleeting moment of eye contact between them, an acknowledgement of how far they had come, and of the unbreakable bond they now shared. Avery could hardly contain her joy watching Martin flourish. He had grown into not just a friend but a beacon of light within their community. His heartbeat echoed in every laughter shared over coffee, every smile exchanged while creating something unique, and every story spilled into the realm of art. As the night drew to a close, Martin beamed with pride, witnessing the connections forming around their shared love of creativity. Overhead, colorful fairy lights twinkled above them like small stars, illuminating the joy in the atmosphere. Just when the excitement seemed to reach its peak, A man entered the cafe, his suit crisp and formal, contrasting with the lively atmosphere. A hush fell over the crowd as they turned their attention toward him, some eyes narrowing in curiosity. The man introduced himself as a representative from a local art foundation, sensitive to the waves of inspiration Martin had created among the community. "I've been following your progress, Martin," he announced, scanning the room with an appreciative gaze. "Your passion is contagious. I'm here to extend a partnership offer with our foundation, a chance for you to take your art even further, to create workshops and events like the one we just experienced on a larger scale." A mix of disbelief and excitement radiated from Martin, and Avery's heart raced in tandem. This was not just an opportunity for Martin, it was the recognition of the ripple effect they had created with their kindness, a culmination of months of hard work, unwavering belief, and a journey of self-discovery. "That's incredible." "Thank you," Martin replied, a tremor of emotion lacing his voice as he stood in front of the crowd. "But I can't do this alone. It's not just about me, it's about everyone who sat at these tables tonight, the stories shared, and the art created. I want to give back to the community that lifted me from shadows into light. Together we can do more." Avery felt warm tears collecting in her eyes as she listened to Martin speak. His journey, amplified by kindness, had blossomed into something extraordinary. The cafe, once a mere place of service, had transformed into a sanctuary for creativity, connection, and purpose. As the evening wrapped up, exhilaration buzzed through the air like electrifying sparks of hope. Seedlings of ideas for future projects sprouted among attendees, inspired to embark on their own artistic ventures, to support one another unconditionally. Avery and Martin stood to one side, watching the smiles spread across the room like warmth in winter. It was a feeling she had yearned to nurture for so long, the sense that they were creating something impactful, building an inclusive environment where dreams could flourish. "Thank you," Avery, Martin said, his voice sincere. "This wouldn't have happened